Everyone nowadays says, AI will not replace you, but someone who knows how to use AI will. I've heard that at least 100 times in the last month alone. While that's a great sentiment, what does it actually mean when it comes to analytics? Most people who use AI are using it to help them write code. That's about 90% of how analysts are using AI. And honestly, that's a great start. That will already do so much more for you than if you weren't doing it at all. But how do you really leverage AI to take your analysis even further? Because you can use AI for so much more than just writing your code. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can plan, execute, and distribute your data more efficiently using AI. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is plan our analysis. We want to ground the AI in our data. And so most of the time when we're explaining our data to AI, we might just do something like we're telling it a little bit about the tables and columns we're using and the type of measure query we're trying to create. And that's great, but we can take a more thorough approach to doing that. So throughout this video, we're going to look at two different methods for how we can leverage AI in our analytics. So one way is we're going to look at how to do it with like a chatbot like ChatGPT or Claude. We're just kind of talking to an AI that is separated from our data. But we're also going to show how to do this with an AI analytics tool, which is a bit more robust. We're going to use a tool called Fabi.ai, who are sponsoring a portion of the video. But again, we're looking at both approaches. So if you have an AI analytics tool, awesome. There's a lot you can do with that we're gonna kind of show in this video. Okay, so let's look at both of these approaches for planning our analysis. So if you're using an AI analytics tool, in this case, Fabi, so we can connect our data to a variety of different data sources. So if you connect to a new data source, you'll see there are a bunch of options here: PostgreSQL, Supabase, MySQL. For this example, we're gonna connect to a simple Google Sheet. So I'm gonna show us doing that here. You connect to the Google Sheet. We're kind of in the canvas now. We got the chat on the right. We're going to connect to a file. And what it's going to do is ask you to like connect your Google account. Essentially, I've already done that. It's going to bring up a list of files here that I can connect to. Waiting for it to load because it's going kind of slow. What if I type in a search? Okay, that made it go a little bit faster. So you'll see that as soon as I connect my data, it already kind of autofills a prompt. Describe the connected Google Sheet data, analyzes it, and it gives me like kind of a breakdown of the different sheets and columns in the data. So that's great, because that was going to be the first step, was for it to explain what the data represents. But the next thing I'm going to ask is, what is this analysis best suited for? So it's already connected to my data live, so it understands it. That is a huge first step. And now we're just going to ask it some insight on the analysis itself. So it's saying primary use cases here: SaaS product analytics, customer success and account management, revenue and growth analysis, user behavior analysis, operational insights. That is awesome. That gives us a lot to work with. But if you only had ChatGPT, you're not connecting to your data live in this scenario. So we're going to give it a different prompt. And this takes a little bit more work, but essentially what we're saying is, here are my tables and columns, orgs, users, widgets, how they relate, explain what this data represents and what it can be used for. And then I've broken down the table names and column names. So take the time to kind of just give it the whole spread and ask what the data can be used for. So we have what this data represents, organizations. It's breaking down each table and each column. It's telling me how the tables relate, which is awesome. And then what this data can be used for: account level insights, user level insights, product usage rights, business and strategy use cases. So if you're starting from scratch in your analysis, this is great because it gives you a good jumping off point. But next, we want to add some business meaning to it. So this is where we give the AI additional context, because it having knowledge of our data is great, but without the business context, there's a big gap. And this is often a big gap with AI. So in this case, we're going to help fill that gap a little bit by giving it some context. The prompt we have here is relatively simple, just a little bit of extra info. Organizations can be free, basic, or enterprise. Widgets represent product usage. What business questions does this data support? And again, I recommend, giving it as much business context as you can so that it is as educated as possible on your data. Not just the data, but the context. You would see that Fabi actually noticed that the first row was a header row, so it's modifying that for me. It's assigning that first row into a header. All right, then we got something to work with here. Revenue and monetization questions, growth and expansion questions, user engagement and product adoption questions. It is giving me a ton here. This is like insanely comprehensive. It's almost too much information. So I have tons to work with here. So to narrow it down a little bit, I'm going to ask it this. What are the 3 most important questions a founder or product manager should care about with this data? Let's see what it tells me. So here's what it gives me. First, are we converting the right users from free to paid? That's a pretty good one. Which customers drive sustainable growth versus drained resources? That's another really good one. And what predicts churn versus expansion? Awesome. So we have top 3 questions here. Let's show how we would do this same thing in ChatGPT. So I'm going to give it the same questions that I gave the AI analytics tool. You can see that these are a little bit different. Growth and acquisition questions, activation and onboarding questions, product usage and engagement questions, monetization and plan effectiveness questions, retention and churn risk questions, lots of stuff. So actually this is also giving me a ton of areas that I can work with here in terms of questions to solve. So that's awesome. Well, we're going to give it the same prompt. What are the top 3 questions that a founder or product manager should care about? So are customers actually getting value from the product? So activation and engagement. Is usage translating into revenue? That's monetization alignment. And where is future growth going to come from? Retention, expansion, and upsell. Good stuff. So that narrows our focus a ton. So if you were starting this analysis from scratch, you have now given the AI a knowledge into your data that you're using. You've given it business context. You've had it assess kind of every direction we could take in terms of questions that we can answer, things that we can analyze, and distilled it into the top 3 questions. So again, starting from scratch, this is an excellent starting point. We did it very quickly and we removed ambiguity between us and what we're trying to achieve. And I want to take a second to talk about Fabi.ai, who are the sponsor of today's video, and I think fit in very well with what we're trying to do. So at a high level, Fabi.ai is an analyst that connects directly to your data and allows you to use natural language to communicate with that data and create insights. It's especially useful for smaller teams, founders, marketing ops, PMs, people who have data but need easier access to it. And maybe you're on a data team, but your resources are limited. Maybe you're just trying to get your work done faster, or you have department heads who need faster access to the data and can work alongside an analyst with this using Fabi.ai. And what I like about it is that it's not just a chatbot. So a lot of AI analytics tools are really just kind of glorified chatbots. And while this does have a chat feature, it's much more than that. You can save items onto the canvas. You can create visuals. You can show the connections between your different cells here. You can create filters. You can create dashboards. You can push these back into Google Sheets for exploratory analysis. You can push them to Slack. You can collaborate with team members. It's an AI analysis tool that lives on a canvas, allows you to write your own SQL or Python if you want to, can explain its code, and can create a robust analysis incredibly quickly all in one spot. So if you're a team, whether you're a team of analysts or a different department that's just trying to move faster with your data, this is a great solution. I think it's one of the better examples of how you can leverage AI in analytics quickly. If you're interested, I have a link in the description so you can check them out. And now let's get back to the rest of the video. Now, the second step here is to execute the analysis. So what we're going to do next is we're going to ask some questions using natural language. And this is where AI analytics tools are helpful because they're querying directly from the database rather than just the information we've given it, like with ChatGPT. But again, we're going to show both approaches because people will have access to different things. So let's go ahead and give it a prompt. I'm going to ask it to show me widget creation over time by organization plan. All right, waiting for the prompt to finish. Boop-doo. And what we can see here is that it has created a line chart for me answering the question that I gave it. So that's great. So I'm going to save this analysis to the cell, and you see that it's just automatically plotted that visualization into the canvas here. And now I'm going to ask it straight up, please provide guidance on additional visuals that we create. I want to have more than just this line chart represented. So now I'm going to give it a follow-up. Please provide guidance on additional visuals we can create based on the top 3 business questions we can answer that you gave earlier. So I'm asking it to provide guidance on additional visuals, but based on, those top 3 analysis questions that we distilled our direction into. So we have a scatter plot, stacked bar chart, box plot, histogram. It's being very thorough here, which I like. It's giving me multiple charts we can create for each business question, essentially. Okay, let's do this. Let's create the stacked bar chart answering question 1. Okay, so this is kind of helpful. I could see that enterprise plans are creating 16 plus widgets, and I can kind of see that activation level for each one of these. So I like that. And that's giving us a whole breakdown on this visual as well, which is pretty cool. So I want to save this analysis to the canvas as well. It's going to append 2 more cells. So we have the plot activation funnel and the summary of the activation metrics. You can kind of see all that here. We're kind of building a narrative here as we go, which is pretty cool. And then the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a dashboard. I'm just going to click this up here. See, it's putting together my analysis, my narrative. I'm going to publish that dashboard. And then boom, we essentially have a dashboard here that users can take a look at and even ask the AI questions about the dashboard that we just created. So if we collapse the chat, we can kind of see our dashboard here. We did this pretty quickly. You could obviously do a lot more with it if you wanted to. And then if we want to ask the AI question, we just pull up the chatbot here. But now let's explore how we would kind of do the same thing, but with a tool like ChatGPT. And we're going to ask it the same thing we asked our other tool, show me widget creation over time by organization plan. We're also going to ask it, please write the SQL needed to answer this question. So we're going to have it create a similar visual for us, and we're going to ask it to write the SQL. And so if you're using a specific type of syntax, you could tell it to write it in that syntax. And we can see that it gave us actually a few options for SQL that we can write to answer that questions. I'm going to ask it again, give me a few more visual suggestions based on the top 3 questions we uncovered earlier. So it's telling us here we can create a histogram or a box plot, simple bar or KPI card, bar chart. So it's giving us those options, kind of like with Fabi.ai. It's taking those 3 questions and it's giving us multiple visuals we can create to answer those questions in different ways. And now we're going to start to outline a dashboard. So I'm asking it, outline how this dashboard should be structured and what filters it needs. Provide a wireframe example based on some of the visuals you provided. I love how ChatGPT said, oh, hell yeah. Actually, I've never seen it do that before, but that's kind of cool. Oh, hell yeah. This is where it turns from analytics into a product decision tool. Okay, so it's giving me the dashboard structure, the required filters, some optional things, section 1, section 2, very robust. It didn't actually give me the wireframe. So let's just say, provide me with a wireframe visual based on this. Okay, and I'll say this, ChatGPT is generally not like the greatest at creating actual like dashboard looks, but it gave us some images on kind of like sketches of what we can do. And while you wouldn't want to use this obviously for an actual dashboard, it is cool to kind of see the style that it went with. And it gave us a few options here. And so again, it's not perfect, but it kind of gives us a place to start if we're not sure how to orient the actual dashboard. So now the execution step is complete. Let's talk about distributing the analysis. So we're going to explain the so what and translate the meaning of the analysis we've just done. So first, let's go back to Fabi.ai. I'm pretty sure it's already told us this, but let's just ask it to explain what this dashboard is telling us and why it matters. And it's giving me a whole description on what this dashboard is talking about. It's breaking down the metrics. And that is incredibly helpful. And now we're going to ask it to write a summary in a few different contexts. So rewrite this as a Slack update, an executive email, and push the data back to a Google Sheet for those who want to do some exploratory analysis. I hear all the time, can I get this data in Excel? One cool thing about that AI is that it can actually push the data back to a Google Sheet. So say you were querying like from a MySQL database, right? In this case, we're already using a Google Sheet, but you can ask it to push the data to a Google Sheet or something like that. So that those who want to kind of dig into the data themselves, maybe they want to validate, maybe they want to just look at things on a more granular level. That always happens. We can just push it there for them. Awesome. And so it put together our like updates. So we have like the Slack update here. Hey team, just wrapped up our activation analysis. So kind of like an informal breakdown, right? It has the email here, even with a subject line, which is nice. Dear leadership team, sharing these vetted executive summary, key metrics by plan. So there you have an entire email update written incredibly quickly, explaining the analysis we did. Of course, you might want to give it a once over for accuracy, but it should be good. And then an Excel file created that is a bit more robust than just the original data we started with. And we can download that Excel file. And so now we're going to take that same approach and do the same thing in ChatGPT. Explain what this analysis is telling us and why it matters. Let's say this, explain what our analysis above is telling us and why it matters. It's going to be a little bit more specific there. So here we got the core story, usage in the proxy for value. So it's giving us a complete breakdown on our analysis. Super duper helpful. And I'm going to ask it the same question I asked our other tool. Rewrite this as a Slack update, an executive email, and create an Excel doc for those who want to do some exploratory analysis. And so here we go. We have the Slack update, concise, skimmable, quick update on the product usage analysis. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. And then the executive email, again, complete with a subject line, which is a nice detail. Hey team, yada, yada, yada. And then it gave me an Excel doc for exploratory analysis. Again, you'd want to give all this an once over to make sure that it's all correct. You should always be validating in your analysis, no matter what. And so we've done a lot very quickly with AI here. And with all these examples, you don't always want to just take everything at face value. As humans, as the analysts, we have agency over what we choose to include in our analysis. We decide what goes on the dashboard. We decide what metrics we're going to track. We're the ones doing the validation to make sure everything looks good. At the end of the day, that is a huge part of the job and something we should be doing anyways. But what we've done with AI to execute faster in our workflow, these were simple examples, but the process was fast. All right, Matt from the future here, had to re-record the outro. So I hope that was helpful. We did a lot here today, right? We planned our analysis, we executed our analysis, and we distributed it using AI and using a couple of different tools. And I think that these are just a few ways that we can use AI to get more out of our analysis in less time. So again, I hope it was helpful. If it was, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way to helping. I'll have a link in the description for Fabi.ai, and thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. And that's it. Thanks for sticking around and watching. I'll see you in the next video.